So you did the things. You got the promotion, the apartment, the routine, or the wellness stack you saw on Instagram, but you still feel miserable. Or no, and the goalposts keep moving. You just hit one thing, and instead of feeling satisfied, you only see the next thing. Because you've been chasing things without ever stopping to check whether any of it is making you feel alive. This is why I believe we should all start nervous system maxing instead. And in this video, I will explain what it entails and 3 key shifts that will help you start living a life that benefits your nervous system. I know this firsthand because I lived this version for years. A few years ago, I was working as a content marketing manager at a tech company. And on paper, that job was, if not perfect, then very close to it. Good title, good industry, a real responsibility, the kind of job that sounds very good, if not impressive, in any conversation. But the reality was different. There was a lot of chaos at work, not enough structure, and I was trying to fix the misery by stacking wellness and productivity routines on top of it. You know, the standard package. The morning routine, the tracking, the kind of stuff you absorb on the internet if you are an ambitious woman in your 20s and you believe that a solution to every problem is another system. Spoiler alert, it isn't. Naturally, it didn't work because the routines were not the problem to begin with. What actually shifted things was when I started peeling off those prescriptive layers, like my obsession with the prestigious job title, or the wellness rules, the optimization brain, all those things I was supposed to be doing. And once I did that, I noticed that joy and fulfillment for me lived in a totally different setup. Working for myself, taking long morning walks, spending way more time with my loved ones, exploring my creativity just for the sake of it and not so that I can use it as another skill at work. Nobody handed me that setup. I had to stop following the script before I could even see what my actual life wanted to look like. This is how I ended up nervous system maxing. And I know it sounds kinda silly, but I actually like it. You have probably noticed the maxing trend on the internet. Looks maxing, gym maxing, sleep maxing, whatever. We have collectively gotten really good at optimizing variables. But I think we have been picking the wrong variables. The things we max for, money, status, appearance, those are proxies. They're what we think should make us feel good, but in fact, they're the byproducts of what actually makes us feel good. The actual inputs are unsexy, time with the people you love, moving your body, a job that gives you a sense of fulfillment, a hobby with no productive purpose. This is nervous system maxing. It's calling that friend you've been meaning to call for years. It's picking up a hobby because you want to, not because you're planning to make it a side hustle. It's taking the job that pays less but doesn't have the toxic boss. It's choosing yourself over the script. And I want to be really clear here because I see how this can be misread. I'm not telling you to stop wanting nice things or going after them. I like nice things, I want them too. I want to make more money than I make right now. I want a beautiful house one day. There is absolutely zero issue with wanting or going after all those things. The issue is the order of operations. When you chase the next thing without checking whether your nervous system can hold it, you end up rich and miserable or productive and burnt out. When you max for your nervous system first, the other stuff either follows or it stops mattering as much because, newsflash, we don't always want what we think we want. When you get more attuned to yourself, you become much better at being able to tell apart your actual desires that are good and healthy and just set up a direction for your ambition from superficial things that only bring external validation and no deeper fulfillment. So how to actually start nervous system maxing? Here are 3 shifts that I am working on right now and that have helped me so far. And an important disclaimer here that this is not a prescriptive system. I do not have 5 steps for instant happiness because I genuinely don't believe that such things exist. Instead, here are the 3 things that should hopefully help you figure out for yourself what life benefits you and your nervous system. Shift number 1. Audit what you're actually chasing. Again, we're not setting new goals here. The work is noticing what you're already chasing and asking yourself whether you would consciously choose it if no one was watching. Look at the evidence. Your calendar, your spending, your scrolling, your default yeses. What variable is that life optimizing for? And be honest with yourself. How much of what you're chasing is actually yours? And how much of it is inherited from your industry, from your circle, from the version of success you absorbed when you were 22 and didn't know any better? It might very well be that when you actually sit down and do this, you find out that you've been maxing for something you wouldn't even pick today. The title that mattered 3 years ago, the aesthetic you absorbed from Instagram, the lifestyle that sounded impressive but doesn't map to a life you want now. And as they say, awareness is part of the solution. So you need to name what you've been spending your energy on before redirecting any of it. Shift number 2. Redirect ambition toward the unsexy stuff. This is the actual reframe of this video. The ambition, as I already said many times, is not the problem. Where it is pointed is the problem. Because even though I just burst this very impressively sounding concept, nervous system maxing is actually very boring on the outside. Friendships, real rest, presence, a walk with no podcast, a hobby that is just a hobby. The trap we are all too familiar with is treating these things as leftovers, like what you do after the real work is done. But the reframe is, these are the real work. They are the inputs. Everything else is downstream of whether these are actually in place. Be aggressively consistent about protecting your weekends. Be ruthless about who gets on your calendar. Make your closest friendships a serious line item, not a leftover. Treat the hobby like it matters. Treat rest like it matters. For example, I like to bring up how I try not to plan for my weekends. And it's true, I don't do Sunday resets, I try not to handle any house chore on the weekends, and unless I have scheduled plans in advance, I don't have a strict agenda. It's a bit of an extreme example, but I've noticed that if I don't protect my time to do whatever I feel like doing in the moment, I end up with a lot of brain fog, I end up burned out and unmotivated, and I just really don't want to live my life like this. So this is my way of nervous system maxing. And the shift in language is kind of the whole point. We don't settle into rest. We don't allow ourselves time off. Even the term time off kind of implies that we have better things to do with our time. We don't want any of that in our vocabulary. We max for our nervous system because our nervous system is a priority. Shift number 3. Choose what actually fits you. This is the hardest one because once you've audited and redirected, you also have to start choosing differently. And that looks like taking the job that pays less but doesn't have the toxic boss, staying at a less impressive company because the work is calmer, walking away from dramatic people, saying no to the opportunity that looks great on paper but you know deep down is going to eat your nervous system alive. And I'm not saying downshift for the sake of it. I am saying let your actual life, what you find fulfilling, feeling. Decide what is worth chasing. And of course, that implies a bit of ego work and being able to tell apart things that genuinely matter to you from things that only bring external validation. I have a whole topic on this video and how external validation hurts you in the long run, and I'm going to link it somewhere up here and in the description box below. Also, I want to once again bring your attention to how it's not a specific list of things you should be avoiding. It is not a Chanel bag versus time and nature type of question. You can have both and be happy with both. Wanting nice things is not bad by itself. Chasing things you don't actually want and that hurt your nervous system in the long run is. To finish up this video, I know there is this idea floating around that happiness shouldn't be your goal, meaning should be, and you should always aim higher than just feeling good. And I low-key disagree. Actually, I just fully disagree. Of course, you're not going to be happy every single day of your life. There will be hard things, and that is part of being a human. But overall, I think we are meant to stay optimistic about our life, to actually want to be here. And nervous system maxing is just choosing that on purpose. It's deciding to stop chasing things that are supposed to make you feel happy and start building the life that actually does. So max for the life that makes you want to be in it. And this is it. I hope this video resonated with you. Like and subscribe to this channel if you found this useful. And as always, I wish you a great day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.